Hello. What you're seeing is a lady who's been in like tons of pain for a few days. um, Today is Thursday, and this began Saturday night for me. But this is less about the pain and more about the experience. So I've had a lot going on, and I feel like I say that as though like I'm special. Like everybody else and their brother doesn't also have a lot going on. I don't mean it that way when I say stuff like that. Um, I know I'm not unique in that I've had a lot going on. I'm aware of that. And I'm definitely not trying to like overshadow anybody else's thing or like try to make my thing bigger somehow. I don't know your thing. I know you have things, because everybody does, right? And I've been on like this roller coaster of things for a while, and I felt like I had gotten to a pretty good place mentally and emotionally. And by no means, like, I am not trying to make myself sound like a head case, but sometimes things are kind of hard, or then they get easier. For instance, like I took this new job, and then I kind of expanded that new job, and then now I'm gonna have to give that job up, and I don't know what that means for like my working relationships. These people are wonderful, and I don't want anything weird to be between us or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's all kinds of things, and I tend to like fret. I tend to fret over things. And the more I read my Bible and stuff, and like, just so you know, that's what this is going to be. So if you have a problem with that, then I really don't know what to tell you. The more I read my Bible and stuff, it's like, yeah, like, I'm really not supposed to be doing that, right? Like, if you know, if you don't, we're not supposed to be doing that. It's not cool, because, like, I'm really not that powerful to fret over things, really. Like, I'm not. So I've had a lot of events, a lot of things go on. Last week was a dead run every single day, totally full. And my husband was home from work, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is all great. Like, nothing was bad, but it was like, this is all great, but like, I just want some time. I just want some time to like chill and maybe go do some stuff together. Because if you watched we went to the zoo video, then like, we just haven't been doing much in the last year. And it's true. So like, I really got in that space, and I wore down really quickly that week, because it was just, again, it was every single day. And I haven't had an every single day kind of a thing, kind of a calendar for a while, and also with all of that, not getting a lot of sleep. I'm trying to keep up on the house, normal adult things. That's what it is. And I had, my husband went out of town fishing. We've had a couple like weird conversations. And when I say weird conversations, I want to be fully transparent and say that couples can have weird conversations while still being like fine and happy, and like, it's not that kind of weird conversation. It's just a weird conversation that left me feeling kind of weird, and it felt a little bit unresolved, and no, it was not an argument. And then he went away for the weekend to go fishing, and I was like, okay, I don't know. And then I had an event that I had to go to, and take my kids and stuff. No big deal. And the event itself was fine and all of that. There was going to be a person there that there is a very lengthy, we'll just say, bit of drama, for like lack of better terms, like just a little bit of drama, and it should have been resolved and gone away 8 years ago. And just so the class knows, it has not. And it's not like, it's not me. It's not like my husband. It's not, it's not that, but it just keeps getting brought up. Anyway, that's just a little part of my life. I don't know. Anyway, it's exhausting, and there's been multiple times that I've wanted to like confront this person. And I even struggle sometimes reading the Bible, because it says like, you shouldn't take your stuff to other people. You should go to the person you have an issue with. And even if I don't have an issue necessarily, what it is like, I don't want to be around these people. It doesn't mean I have an issue with them necessarily, but I'm kind of like, I don't want to like hang out, you know, which like, that's not wrong, right? I don't know if it is or not. So the thing of it is, sorry, I'm all over the place and I will not be editing this video. The thing of it is I had to go, and there was some new, fresh, like, I don't want to say information, but kind of like new, fresh stuff that had come out maybe a week, maybe the week before this event, where maybe there was still a problem, still an issue, whatever. And it's like, great. Well, it rehashed a lot of like feelings and emotions, and of course I like am always wanting to be validated, right? I'm like, I'm valid. And it became a very big part of my week, a very big part of a lot of my discussions, where I don't normally give these people, you know, I don't talk about it. I don't talk about them, but it was kind of a big deal. And so I guess I worked a little bit into a frenzy about it. And then I had to go be with one of them, and I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it at all. And so in and of itself, it had all of its own difficulties and struggles. I mean, I know I'm not the only person to have to dwell in a room with someone that you're struggling with, like, the dynamics of whatever. But that all went on. And I ended up going out to dinner with a friend. And whenever I went out to dinner with a friend, my mother-in-law kept my girls. And I went out to dinner with a friend, I noticed that I was really struggling with my ribs. And I could not even, like, lift my arm up on the table to talk to my friend. It's like, great, you know, what's going on? That was Saturday. By Saturday night, I was in a lot of pain. But by Sunday, it was like over the top. By Sunday, it was a lot. It was a lot. And I'm like, great. Hopefully, this all works itself out and it's okay. Well, instead, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse. So Monday, I was able to schedule myself an appointment. Now, mind you, through all of this, did I completely stop everything? No. I did give myself like an allowance. I did give myself some grace in terms of not doing as much. That's true. But I still was doing a lot and trying to not necessarily push through, because I couldn't push through. This was very painful, and then muscle spasms started. And then I got to where I couldn't breathe. It was just a lot, right? So Monday afternoon, I went to the chiropractor, and I'm like, this is going to be fine. She'll put my ribs back in. It's going to be great. Well, she put ribs back in. She popped me. She did all of that. It was very painful. It was like, wow, painful. Wow, painful. And, yeah, I mean, it was what it was. But even as I was leaving her office, I'm like, I am still jacked up. I know I'm better, but I'm still jacked up. So I came on home, went on with the evening, wrapped all here, and I was wearing this, and went on. And then I got up Tuesday morning, and I was like, okay, I am supposed to go to work today, but Monday night I went ahead and scheduled another chiropractor appointment for Tuesday morning. And so I texted my boss, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know, this sucks, but this is what I've been dealing with, and I'm not a fan of it, but, I'm hoping I go into the chiropractor, she finishes fixing me, and then I can just be done and I can just come into work. But I said, if it's not like all the way fixed, I can't come into work, because I said I already can't lift for 48 hours or whatever, That was what the chiropractor had told me the day before. So I went in for my appointment, and that was like brutal. It was the most excruciating chiropractor appointment I've ever had. Lifted me off the table. It was terrible. And it wasn't my chiropractor. She's wonderful. Like, that is not what I'm saying at all. But it was really hard. Like, really hard. And when I left there, well, during the appointment, I was laying there and she had done this pop. She said she could feel a bone sticking up. And she did this pop, and I got so sick. I have never gotten nauseous in a chiropractor appointment. I know that it's possible, but I just thought, like, the people that do, and the people that don't. That was wild. That was why, because I got super sick super quickly, and it was just a wave of it, and it was terrible. I was in the middle of talking to her, and I said, is it normal to get, like, really sick? She said yes. I'm like, great. So, needless to say, I'm talking to her. She goes ahead and she actually stands the table up with me on it. Oh, I hope I didn't burn them. I did. Well, okay. I should have been watching that. I gotta get that smell out of my house. Please hold. Okay, well, you know, I should have been watching. Anyway, so yeah, anyway, terrible appointment. Horrible, awful, terrible. No thank you. Big fat no. Not a good time. I text my boss. Did not go to work. And prior to this appointment, I had been like very, very hungry. Very hungry. But then I'm at the appointment. Couldn't be bothered with food. I get out of there and I'm like, you know, yeah, no, that's a big fat no. I'm not hungry. But my original plan was to go by my credit union and do my banking and then go get me something to eat. So I went to my credit union and I felt very disoriented as I was there and doing what I needed to do. I just felt really like, wow, what is wrong with me? Kind of just disoriented. And I felt really weird. And so then whenever I went to leave, I drove around my town just a little bit. And I couldn't figure out what I would want to eat. And I started to get really like emotional and upset. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, I don't understand what's going on. And I don't know the science behind any of it. I just know it was rough. And so I got back to my mom's house. My mom had my kids because I was going to go to work, you know. My mom had my kids and I was there. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm nauseous. And oh my gosh, I'm so cold. Why can't I get warm? I'm so cold. I'm so cold. And my husband was coming down sick, so he was at home. So I text him and I'm like, how are you feeling? What is going on? Well, you know, because I'm like, am I dealing with like two different things? Like, what is happening? So he told me what he was dealing with, and I was not dealing with the same thing. His cousin is actually a chiropractor, and I just double checked with her. I'm like, is this normal? She said yes, as far as like nausea. But then I looked up chilling because I'm like, this is really wackadoo, you know? It says it's normal, and it can actually last up to like 72 hours or something like that. It was not fun. I'll tell you that, it was not fun. So how long is this going to take? I need this to be fast. All I'm doing, my daughter actually has dance tonight, and I don't know how that's going to go because I'm trying to take it super easy, and I'm getting to that point of the story. I mean, I've been trying to take it easy, but I am currently trying to take it like super easy. Oh, it's leaving behind the skin. Dang it. Anyway, I'm just trying to make a casserole that I can put into the oven later. So basically, most of the components are already cooked. It just has to be like put in, warmed up, and whatever. And it's like, I'm trying to keep things as simple and easy as possible. So I'm currently roasting some potatoes. It's just going to be a potato, chicken, bacon, ranch casserole. That's it. So anyway, let's go chit chat, and then I gotta pull my daughter in here to finish her homeschool lesson for the day. But we're gonna go sit for a little bit. Oh, it smells like those burnt onions in here. It stinks. Anyway, so pardon all the angles and everything. It's just where it's at. So, needless to say, I kind of went within myself, and I let my mom handle everything. And I was really lost, and I was there, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got a sick husband at home. I have hit the brick wall. I don't know how I'm going to load these kids up and go home and do what I need. Like, I don't know. And it was like later in the afternoon, and finally my mom just goes, I think you should stay here. And I'm like, yeah, so what was happening by that point, I was having muscle spasms all in my back and into my shoulder and up my neck about once every minute. I could not move. It was just constant. It was just really crazy. And so I called my husband and I said, this is what I'm thinking about. And he goes, whatever you feel like you need to do, because we're not, and like, it's not good. I was like, okay, so that's what he did. And my mom helped me out tremendously. She put the girls down for bed and slept in the room with them. And I slept down in her basement, her living room, in the recliner. I just slept there, and I did not move I got in that recliner at like 4:30 in the afternoon. And I got up the next morning to go to the bathroom 2 different times. But outside of that, I did not get up at all until like noon the next day. And whenever I got up, I felt great. But see, I hadn't had a shower since Saturday. My kids hadn't had baths since Friday. So my mom got up Wednesday morning and she gave them baths. And then I said, I'm feeling good enough that I think if I take it really slowly and like just be really careful, I could probably get clean. But I want to do that here so that if I have any problems or anything. So I did, and I didn't have any problems, and it was all fine. And I got home, and me and my daughter did her lessons, and I sat in, not this chair, I sat in like our couch, and I had a pillow behind my back, but I think that offset it enough or something. It was a problem, and it started irritating me. And then we had dinner, and it was irritating me more. Like, I sat in this chair between the lesson and dinner. But then, like, at dinner, it was irritating me even more. And then my husband and I had another conversation that I'm confident he doesn't know, like, made me feel tense at all. Because it wasn't a fight, it wasn't an argument, he wasn't being rude. It was just, I don't know, and it made me feel tense, I guess. I don't know. And then I'm correlating that right now. That comes into play later. But anyway, I just noticed that after dinner, like, my back, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm like, no, it's been good all day. And I didn't really have a full another spasm or anything, but I felt like I was fighting it off, and I couldn't get my muscles to relax. And I'm like, oh no. So I took a pain pill. That's what I had done the night before at my mom's. Before I went and sat in the recliner, I took an Aleve, and then I packed it in ice because I didn't have a heating pad. At my mom's, she couldn't find her heating pad. So I just did ice. And so here, once I got here, I did ice and heat, ice and heat, ice and heat. I did all that. Well, last night, it just kind of kept getting worse. So I put the girls down for bed, and I told them, I said, you know what? I said, you guys, I will probably be sleeping in the living room, tonight. So just so you know, for in the morning and all that. So I let them know. So last night, my husband was outside, And then he finally, like after a while, he came in and he kind of sat over here on the floor by me, because where this chair is, there is just, it's like in the toy corner, you know what I'm saying? So, but I plopped myself here. This chair is not as supportive as my mom's was or anything, which was not fun, but it was, it was something. So I feel like I'm not doing this video justice. Like, I feel like I'm not as upbeat as I should be, because I'm still labored. I don't know if you could tell that, like in my breathing and just different things, I'm labored, but this is actually a great video, okay? So last night we sat here and we talked for a little bit, and then he said, I'm going to go to bed. He filled my water cup up and everything, and I'm sitting here in this chair that I'm in is not very big, okay? It's not. The one at my mom's is actually a love seat. So I'm in a recliner, and then I have like this whole area right next to me, and I could set all my stuff, have all my stuff and everything. Here, this isn't even like what you would consider like an average size recliner of today's standards, I don't think, which is okay. But I also don't have any tables by me, like, or anything like that. So everything is sitting around me, and so reaching for things is kind of hard. So he goes to bed, and I'm sitting here, and I'm getting increasingly more uncomfortable. And I'm like, this is not going to work. Like, I am miserable. I'm just more and more uncomfortable. And I couldn't really reach anything. And at one point I tried to reach my water cup and I knocked it over. It's one of these. It didn't spill. But as I just dripped a little water myself. Anyway, it didn't spill. It just knocked it over, and then I could no longer reach it. So I drank no water last night, because that was the other problem that I had yesterday morning when I woke up at my mom's. I got up and I went to the bathroom successfully, like it was all fine. That's been an excruciating process because of all the motions and movements you have to do for that process. And I had no problems, but my urine smelled so bad and it was so dark. And I'm like, I'm super dehydrated. Connecting all of the dots of the chilling and the nausea, and then that, I think, was toxic release. I think I had a lot of toxins in there. And I should have been drinking a lot of water and going to the bathroom the day before, but I would not have made it. I was really struggling. So anyway, so then when my water fell over last night, I was like, oh my gosh, I really need to be drinking water. So anyway, I sat here for a while, and then I was like, I can't deal with this. Where should I go? What should I do? So I went to, my daughter has a little bed in our room, and I'm like, let me see if I can just lay flat there. It was very hard getting in the bed. And then I laid there, and I just kind of, whatever. And I fell asleep. I was like, thank God I fell asleep, I woke up. I don't know what time this was. I have no idea. I just know I woke up, and I felt completely sunken into the mattress. I couldn't move. I was in excruciating pain, more pain than I was probably in this recliner when I got up to even go in there. I was sweating. I was just like, this is terrible. So I'm like, how am I going to get up? I tried 2 or 3 different times to get up. It took me forever. I finally got up. I grabbed my glasses, but like my phone, everything was in there. I just left it in the room and came back here, tried to get comfortable here, and I sat here for a really long time, and I was super uncomfortable. And this is where I have to be fully transparent. And again, I want to be totally transparent in saying that even the conversation that I had with my husband was not bad, okay? But I laid in this chair, and I just started praying. And then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just getting really negative again, which I don't want to do. But I think I'm getting really negative because I've been really struggling about this whole situation with my job and how to handle it and what to do. And I've been letting stress get to me. I know I've let stress get to me about that situation, about going to that event where I was with people that, this 8-year-long thing that should have been dead 8 years ago. And then these conversations that I've had with my husband lately, 2 of them, I'm like, I know that I have bitterness over it. I'm letting it affect me. And then I'm like, I need to give all of this to God and just let go of that and chill out and ask for his help with these things and ask for his help with this, because I really hadn't done that. My grandma was praying for me, and, I was being prayed for, but like, I'm like, I am not giving it up. I'm going to the chiropractor and I'm heat and ice and painkillers and this and that, but I'm not like praying about it. And I prayed about it in like a very emotional state. I wasn't laying here crying, but I was just like, oh my gosh, you know. And then I ended up falling asleep, which was awesome because I was in a lot of pain. And I woke up, my husband came out, he was super crabby. My youngest daughter woke up, and he's just not like, he's not with it for the morning with all that stuff with kids and stuff. It's not his most favorite thing ever, you know? And so he just, I don't know, he makes these comments and stuff. And then that started taking over. I was like, see, I can't be out of commission. Like, this is so bad, and the kids are going to start having bad times, and he's going to be miserable and everything. Like, I can't be laid down. Like, I can't take this time off or anything. This is why I pushed myself like I did. And oh my gosh. And then I started getting really negative, and I started getting down again. And then I started kind of like, he went back in, you know, with my daughter and stuff, and I just started praying about it again. And I kind of dozed back off. And it couldn't have been that much later. I mean, it had to have been like within an hour. I heard like more commotion. And I woke up and I thought, I'm not in as much pain. Like, not even that tolerable pain. It's just like feels weak. So I started feeling here where there was this big knot right here. Even last night, there was a big knot right here. And I was like, there's not a big knot right there. So I've felt compelled all day to share this because I've really been struggling a lot. And that pain has been so tremendous. And it's just a bone out of place. I know it's all it is. But other people have like serious things they're dealing with. And they have to go on through life too. They have jobs and they have kids. They have houses to take care of and husbands and relational things to go through. And they have to go to events with people that, you know, they're struggling with that. They have to have conversations. At times they're not prepared to have those conversations. You know, they have kids that don't get it. And they're laying on the areas that are killing them. They're in pain, and or they're sitting in a chair and their kids will not stop shaking their chair, and it causes them all those problems and pain, and like they can never get away from it. Mine is just my ribs are outright. And I'm like, just a few days, and I'm like, I cannot bear it any longer. You know, I'm not trying to be dramatic, but I'm saying that's how I felt. And then I'm like, really? Is this real? Is this real? I kept feeling it. And I moved a little bit, not a lot, you know. And I was like, please let this be real. Please let this be real. And then it was like something from the inside is like, why wouldn't it be real? Of course it's real. And I was so overcome, and I just laid here and I cried. And I cried. And I was singing some songs, and I was doing all of that stuff because I saw something the other day that said that praise was our weapon, biggest weapon. And I think that's true because there's been a few times in my life recently, like for the most part, I feel like, why can't I hear God? Like I must not have the Holy Spirit really. And that's been bothering me because Satan likes to get in your head about where you're at spiritually. If he can't get to you other places, that's where it is. It's like, well, don't you remember all these things? You read the scriptures and like it's in there. You're not supposed to be like that was bad and this was bad and you can never undo that. It says, many will, what is it? Many will something, but few will enter. And so that gets in my head a lot. And especially in the quietness where I'm not being given direction. There's been a couple of times within the last year that it's been so profound. It's been so intense like this. And I'm not, like, again, I have felt extremely weak all day. This feels extremely weak. And I'm wearing this. And then I even go, you must not have any faith. But I think that that's Satan, because I need some support because it's very weak. Doesn't mean I'm not healed. I'm healed. I'm healed. Like that. It's healed. And so I have felt compelled to share this. This is not the way that I feel like this video should be done. It doesn't do it justice. But I have to tell you, I'm simultaneously, I'm very tired. My arm is very weak. This has been a really hard few days. I feel like I need to come on here just like beaming with, I have to tell you what's happened. But sometimes I think being real is more effective. It doesn't mean that I don't have something beaming within me. I've still been able to do a few things to keep me and the house and everything running smoothly without pushing myself, because I know it's weak. I can feel that it's weak, but I'm healed. That tremendous pain is gone. And then this is where you have to watch, because you can step into new age territory, which is not what I'm trying to do. Is not. But I was like, this whole thing was just really, really weird. It's really weird. It's like my body wouldn't let that bone go in. Why? And I was thinking about my prayer, and stuff. And then I looked up emotional trauma and like your ribs being out and stuff. And it talked about like stress and feeling stuck. And something, I would need to look at my thing again. But it was like, it gives it tricks the body into making you feel like your rib is out. I know my rib was out. I know, because this was all swollen. It was really big. And my chiropractor felt a bone. But I was thinking about everything in the last 2 weeks that have gone on. As busy as we were with like great things that weren't stressful at all. And then some things were like, just the normal kind of stressful, but it adds up. And then everything going to that event and all the conversations that I had about all that. And then going and sitting in that room with that person on Saturday. And I let it eat me alive. Don't do that. The only person that's paying for that is you. And there's only one person that can save you from that. And it ain't you. It is Jesus. And you've got to give it to him. He doesn't always just take it from you. That would be nice. But he doesn't always. Sometimes he's waiting for you to stop being stubborn and turn off your brain, or just turn on your mouth and direct it to him and rely on him. And that's true. And I feel weak now, but I'm not going to. I'll be strong. I'll be strong. Because your strength comes from him too. If you let it. Unless you want to be stubborn. Now, I was able to put some makeup on today. It's not crazy good or anything. It's not fully like, it's whatever. And my hair was crazy because I was able to get clean and wash my hair barely at my mom's. And I asked my mom for her help blow drying my hair. I said, you know what this is like? You know those skits whenever you're sitting there and then the people sit behind you and they put their hands up there? It was very difficult. I was like brushing my hair with my right hand, and she was like putting the blow dryer everywhere but where I needed it. But I was grateful for her help, but I was like, dang, you're always about 2 inches off from where I need you to be. And I'm like trying to move my head, So anyway, so it was like done, but then I went and I was trying to take the flat iron to it, and it looks just crazy. I'm also growing it out a little bit. I hate this stage. It's so annoying. So annoying. But I'm grateful. I got hair on my head. Got a lot to be grateful for. Now, if you'll excuse me, I got to go see about these potatoes in the oven, and I need to get my daughter in here to finish her homeschool lesson because I am able to teach my daughter at home. And she has graduated her first quarter of kindergarten. We started after Labor Day in September, and it's the beginning of October. Was it October 9th, I think, today? Second quarter. We go 4 days a week. Yeah, she's doing great. She's doing so good. I'm excited. So thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time. Bye.